The topic of my research and presentation for today is restoring natural resources, regulatory challenge for a sustainable food system. And a few words as an introduction. In 2024, nature restoration law, a new legislation came into force, establishing legally binding ecosystem restoration targets, setting long-term goals for the restoration of all ecosystem, including territorial ecosystem. A key innovation is a shift from a conservative approach to the active protection of natural resources, particularly ecosystems such as agriculture ecosystem and wetlands. The regulation introduced a holistic approach to nature conservation law. So there is a fundamental research question which arises, does the restoration of natural resources in ecosystems contribute to the long-term food security and climate resilience of these ecosystems, or as on the contrary, does the imposed constraints agriculture production and pose a threat to food sovereignty in European Union members? Hence, on the major hypothesis of that research, that the restoration of natural resources in agriculture areas does not pose a threat to food security. It may actually strengthen the long term by increasing the resilience of agroecosystems to effects of climate change, improving soil quality, water retention, and preventing the ecosystem services essential to agricultural production. So, do we have a sustainable food system? I would like to say that our system is unsustainable and unstable. We are witnessing the population explosion. The global population stands at this moment at 8,300,000,000 people, and exactly 300 million people. It's equivalent of the population of the United States, which have been added to world's population since November 2022. It means that United States was added to the world's population. And estimate suggests the population will rise to nearly 10 billion of people after 2050. And we therefore need more food to meet dietary needs. And according to FAO data, we must produce roughly twice more than as much food by mid-century. It means 120% from 2005. We need to produce more. We need more food for growing population. There is a very interesting graph of a global food system which is responsible for exceeding 5 our planetary borders. And the graph shows a red line. This is the red line in the middle, indicating the acceptable level of environmental impact, and the orange line, which is over there, big circle, which is indicating high risk. Look how many times this border is crossed by, for instance, nitrogen or phosphorus. So the data shows that the current food system is environmentally unstable and unsustainable. 5 paths for the transformation of global food system from United States gives us one path, which is protecting and restoring ecosystem. It means restoration of degraded agricultural landscape and wetlands. We try, of course, to stop biodiversity loss. Some data from 2019 shows that agriculture expression of this direct diversity is almost 90% of deforestation, or 20% of the Earth land area is completely degraded. On this slide, you can see some examples of global decline in nature and phasing declines of biodiversity from United Nations. To compare state situation of Romania, Brazil, or Morocco, we can see that even in Europe, in Romania, 7.7 territory of soil degradation appear. The Morocco, the problem is of course much worse because it's 30% of ecosystem soil degradation, and even in Brazil, which is the best country of world's biodiversity, we can realize that 76% of Atlantic forest is completely lost. So looking at Brazil, Romania, Morocco, this is the way of degradation, soil degradation, and finally deforestation. Of course, we should reach 80 targets and Kunming declaration targets, and this international level shows us several programs. For instance, United Nations GEO7 shows us reducing to near zero of biodiversity lost, or reducing the risk of species extinction by a factor of 10 by 2050. There are several concepts like ecosystem-based adaptation or climate-smart agriculture, but they are, of course, a kind of ideas, a kind of concepts of pathways to reach. Finally, in Europe, we really needed a new regulation. We needed a restoration of nature, because the state of our ecosystems were really in poor or very poor condition. And for instance, 83% of crops particularly depend on pollinators by insects, and restoring pollinator habitats helps improve future of our European food security. So, forms of the conservation, we all know that we have, of course, different forms of nature conservation based on international or European law, like World Heritage Sites, Biosphere Reserves, Ramsar sites, or Nature 2000 areas. We also have national level, like natural parks, natural reserves, landscape, or protection landscape areas. But we have also informal projects, and the very functional and planning category was high nature value agriculture, but unfortunately it was only functional and planning category with the cap of environmental monitoring. The level of nature protection in Europe is, of course, diverse from 35% in Bulgaria till 17% of Finland. If we look outside Europe to Brazil, to Morocco, we can find that they, of course, have natural parks, they have reserves, they have other forms. For instance, in Brazil, there is a very similar to European project, Planwag, which is similar to Nature 2000 sites, or pilot project under the Morocco-European agreement, which allows to create Nature 2000 areas very similar to our European project. A few words about high nature value agriculture. It was a very good concept, let me say 15 years ago, to create a special areas of high nature value to extensive agriculture, but it was not mandatory. So in some countries, they were able to create even 30% of agriculture on such nature valuable areas like in Romania, Portugal, Austria or Cyprus. But in Poland was completely zero, because we made a first attempt, we tried to create it, but we failed. We have never create such interesting initiatives. So finally, restoration of natural resources with regulation, which is the extinction legal solution, which were insufficient. The conservation approach alone was also insufficient, and Nature 2000, high nature value agriculture was not mandatory. So the key elements was to indicate a plan for achievement for all objects when were identified. So you see lots of different regulation which were completely not in symbiosis. They were quite independent, and the strengthened approach was needed, involving a wide-ranging restoration of natural resources. The introduced the regulation complements of strengthened existing environmental policies like New Green Deal or biodiversity strategy. If we look of objective, the general objectives were set out in Article 1. It is to strengthen food security. And the term restoration aims to conserve and enhance biodiversity, but also to enhance the resilience of ecosystems. Agriculture ecosystems were mentioned in Article 11 and Annex 4 and 5 of the regulation, are dedicated to our ecosystems which are connected with agriculture. And obligation has been introduced to improve the state of biodiversity and agricultural land, especially to improve at least two indicators. First of all, the Meadows Battery Index, organic carbon stock in soils, or the proportion of agricultural land containing high diverse landscape features like hedgerow or meadows of ponds in rural areas. Provisions has been also made for the restoration of farmland bird population, very fabulous FBI 23, so Farm and Bird Index, used for many years, serve a kind of measures. Member states are to achieve an increase of this indicator over the coming decades. Provision has also been made for the renaturalization and drained wetlands, peatlands used for agriculture, with an increase in this indicator over the coming decades. At the same time, part of member states' land area must be re-weighted, but of course this important provision is not obligatory, it's voluntary, and all of us, we remember farmers' protests on the streets, even in Poland, but all over Europe. They exactly protest against wetland of our wetlands. To summarize, nature restoration plan will be the long-term planning exercise. Every country should write their own plans, taking into account regional diversity. It is very, very important, and it will indicate financial needs and in ensuring open and inclusive preparation cases. There is, of course, a timetable, and the first attempt should be ready at the end of August. And we have, of course, the list of indicators which every nature restoration plan should have. Just to compare, let me say that not only Europe is preparing that plans, also we can see in Brazil is nature plan for restoration of native flora, and in Morocco we have several different plans, like I like very much Green Generation Plan till 2030. Conclusions. Nature restoration marks a shift from conservation to active ecosystem recovery. The regulation reflects the interconnection between biodiversity, climate, and food security. Healthy ecosystems support resilient agriculture production. Restoration is a precondition for long-term agriculture sustainability. Success depends on the effective national plans, common agriculture policy, integration, and farmers' support. Nature restoration is becoming a strong element of sustainable development. Comparative conclusion. Ecosystem restoration has become a shared policy objective in Europe, but also in Brazil or Morocco. Europe was the first to introduce legally binding transnational targets for the restoration of natural resources. Other countries are implementing nature restoration mainly through strategies, programs, politics, rather than comparative statutory obligations, and the main difference lies in regulatory design. So I can say that European Union solution can serve a kind of a regulatory model for other countries developing in the direction of restoration of nature. Thank you very much.